Yeah, in that we have seen, we have performed many activities. We have seen that how is yogurt is made from the milk, what exactly happens in this process. Yes, you should recollect all these topics which I explained you. Yeah, we have seen that why the doctors advise you to have yogurt or buttermilk if you are having indigestion or abdominal discomfort. This, then after that we have seen the role and the uses of lactobacilli. Then in the second part, we have seen the second useful microorganism, that is rhizobium, and which is a symbiotic bacteria. In that we have also seen, or we have done one activity. Then we have seen the role and importance of rhizobium. Yeah. Then the third example of the useful microorganism was yeast. And how does this yeast is useful to make bread? We have seen. And at last we have seen the bioremediation. Yeah. In this way, we have seen bioremediation where biological entities or biological microbes are used to find out the solution over the ecological problems. So students, now we are going to learn about the second application of useful microbes, that is antibiotics. What it is? Antibiotics. Yeah. So students, what are antibiotics now? This question will arise in our mind that what are antibiotics? For this, you have to observe the slide. Now see here. Now what is antibiotics? Where do this found and how does this helpful? Now what are antibiotics? Antibiotics are the carbon compounds obtained from some bacteria and fungi for destroying or preventing the growth of harmful microorganisms called what? Antibiotics. Yeah, antibiotics. See this now. Carbon compounds, just now explain. Carbon compounds obtained from some bacteria and fungi for destroying or preventing the growth of harmful microorganisms are called as antibiotics. Now, this antibiotics, a discovery of the 20th century, have brought about a revolution in the field of medicine. This antibiotics are very useful. Yeah. Even a diseases like tuberculosis has been almost completely eradicated from some countries. Yeah. So, but we can think over this, that why the discovery of this have brought about a revolution in the field of medicine. What will be the reason behind this? Because discovery of antibiotics had led to find out the solution on many diseases for which prevention was not possible. See, even now nowadays a pandemic of coronavirus, these researchers are all over the world are looking and working out for what? For searching out the solution for the coronavirus. But yet they are not successful for finding out the proper solution for the treatment. So for this journey, for this journey, this antibiotics were produced. Mostly, these antibiotics are used to cure the bacterial or fungal infections. But some antibiotics also works on protozoas like amoeba and paramecium. Yeah, these antibiotics mainly act against bacteria, and some antibiotics can destroy protozoa. See in this picture you can observe here how the antibiotics react on the diseases or the bacteria or the fungi. Yeah, see how they fight with this bacteria, how they play a role to deactivate this infections. which were created by this fungi or a bacteria. So carbon compounds obtained from some bacteria and fungi for destroying or preventing the growth of harmful microorganisms are called what? Antibiotics. Antibiotics, a discovery of 20th century, have brought about a revolution in the field of medicine. Even a diseases like tuberculosis has been almost completely eradicated from some countries. Yeah. Now, there are two types of antibiotics depending upon their arena of their work or spectrum of their work. Yes, on this basis, these antibiotics are divided into two types. First one is broad spectrum antibiotic. The term only suggests us broad spectrum antibiotics. This broad word suggests that this antibiotic can kill wide range of microorganisms or destroy many varieties of microorganisms. Some antibiotics, means this one, broad spectrum antibiotics. Some antibiotics are useful against a wide variety of bacteria and they are called broad spectrum antibiotics. So what is the example for this? What are the examples? Examples are ampicillin, amoxicillin, tetracycline, etc. Yes, this type is what? Broad spectrum antibiotics. In this, when the pathogen cannot be identified, even though the symptoms of diseases are visible, broad spectrum antibiotics are used. Means what? Whenever if a person is not detected which diseases he is infected with, but the symptoms are seen, then also these broad spectrum antibiotics are given to that or given to such patients. Okay, so this is broad spectrum antibiotic. What it is? Some antibiotics are useful against a wide variety of a bacteria and they are called as a broad spectrum antibiotics. Which are the examples? Examples are ampicillin, amoxicillin, tetracycline, etc. Yes. Now, the next type. What is the next type? Next type is narrow spectrum antibiotic. Now, what is narrow? The word only see. In the first term also broad means it was wide. Narrow means what? It works on a specific type of microorganisms. It works on specific type of microorganisms. It is also called as a mild antibiotics. What? Mild antibiotics, as it treats only a particular diseases and it can be diagnosis. Means what? A diseases can be diagnosed with the help of MRI, blood test or CT scan, and a doctors can detect which disease has caused, and on this basis this narrow spectrum antibiotic is given to the patient. Yeah, so whenever a pathogenic microorganism is definitely known, then narrow spectrum antibiotics are used. Okay, what the word definitely, it is, see here, definitely known, then narrow spectrum antibiotics are used. So what are the examples are of this? Penicillin, gentamicin, erythromycin. So students, you should keep in mind whenever in exams it is asked, give some examples of broad spectrum antibiotic or a narrow spectrum antibiotic. You should be able to write these answers. Yeah. So keep in mind. Okay. Now moving further. Now for this, there are, now which institute works on this? Which institute works on this? So the study of various microorganisms, the antibiotics that can destroy microorganisms, even which microorganisms can be used for obtaining the active ingredient of the antibiotic. This all studied by the researchers working in various institutes. So, institutes where the researchers are held, our researchers are been done to what? Uh, to invent or to produce such microorganisms. Yeah. So, in India, in Maharashtra, especially there is a National Institute of what? Virology. Virology in Pune. Where it is? In Pune. Yeah. So, which was established in 1952, and it carries out all the researches which are related to the diseases like measles, jaundice, fever, lung diseases, and now the samples of corona patients, the swab which are collected from nose or throat, it is sent to the virological department in Pune, where they carry out and study and send the result with the support from the World Health Organization. Yeah, with the support from the World Health Organization. Yes, students. So, the in of India, the National Institute of Virology. Virology means virology is a study about the virus and all, virus, bacteria. Yeah, and it was established in 1952 in Pune. This is the picture of this institute, which undertakes researches related to diseases like measles, jaundice, fever, and diseases of the lungs. And with whom support? With support from the World Health Organization. Yes, students, up till here you understood where this institutes and what they do, what is the work or what they function. Yeah. Now moving further towards the antibiotic. First example, that is penicillin. See this picture. This is the picture of the microorganism. Oh, sorry, of the antibiotic which is used here. It is penicillin. What it is? It is penicillin. So detailed study of this microorganisms the help to discover the solution over the majority of problems in human life. Yeah, the detailed study of this microorganisms help to discover the solution over the majority of the problems in human life, and that the magnificent research was the discovery of the antibiotics. Now, which organism is used in this are the majority of antibiotics are obtained from the fungus known as what? Known as penicillin. Known as penicillin. Yeah. Now, what is penicillin? Penicillin is a group of antibiotics obtained from a fungus, Penicillium. What is the name of a what is the name of a fungus? Penicillium. And from where this word, this antibiotic was produced, penicillin. Penicillin is a group of antibiotics obtained from a fungus, Penicillium. And for what purpose this penicillin is used? And it is used for controlling the infection caused by bacteria like Staphylococcus. What it is? Staphylococcus, Clostridia, Streptococcus, etc. Yeah. Medicines containing penicillin are useful to treat certain bacterial infections of the ear, nose, throat, and skin, as well as diseases like pneumonia and scarlet fever. So students, whenever we are suffering from these infections, means bacterial infections in ear, nose, throat and skin, or when a patient is suffering from pneumonia and a scarlet fever, doctor always used to give antibiotics with other medicines. So do you understand what is the reason behind this? Why a doctor prescribes us to take antibiotic? It helps to fight with the bacteria or a fungus which is present in our body during this infection. Yeah. But when a doctor is prescribing us a antibiotic, we should also take some cautions. You should be always be cautious while taking any kind of antibiotics. They have the power to provide the ability to cure your body from various diseases. Yes, they have the power to provide the ability to cure your body from various diseases, to defeat the action of bacteria or a virus. But viruses are not affected or treated by the antibiotics. This one is a highlighter. What? That viruses are not affected or treated by the antibiotics. So now what are the cautions should we take? Yeah. See, just now I have told you the highlight. What? That antibiotics do not treat viral infections. Yeah. Like colds and flu. Now what are the cautions? Antibiotics should be taken only when prescribed by a doctor. Never take antibiotics on our own. Only take when it is prescribed by a doctor. This is the first caution. Second, don't purchase any antibiotic from medical stores without a prescription from a doctor. As commonly we are having the habit of what? Whenever we are suffering from any disease or any infections, what we do? We don't go to doctor, we directly go to medical stores and we ask them, we are suffering from this, so please give us medicines. But this is not a correct path. What is the correct path is to go to doctor, visit to doctor. When he will prescribe, then only take any medicines or antibiotics. Don't consume antibiotics on your own to treat common diseases like a throat infection, common cold or influenza. Yes, we can do a home remedies. Yes, we can take home remedies for curing all this, but don't ever be confident to consume all these antibiotics on your own. Even if you feel well. Now suppose what happens whenever a doctor gives us a medicines. They give us a week treatment. Yeah, 1 week or 3 days treatment. What we used to do? If we started feeling well, we stopped taking antibiotics and remaining medicines. But this is a wrong path. This is not a correct way. Why? If we stop taking medicines in between, what will happen? What will happen? The bacteria which are present in our body will start multiplying more faster and they will be habitual of our antibiotics which are going inside our body. Yeah. So even if you feel well, before completing of the prescribed course of the antibiotic, you must continue and complete it. So don't stop in between. Okay. We have to take the whole course of the medicines which is given by our doctors. One more thing, we are having the habits. What? If we are cured from any medicines, what we do? We suggest to our friends or to our colleagues, I have taken this medicine, I have cured. So you can also take. Never. Don't suggest to others the antibiotics which were useful to you. It may happen our body suit this medicines, but another person, it can't. It can show any adverse effects. So never give suggestions to others to take the antibiotics which were useful to you. Yes, students. So this is about the penicillin and the cautions behind taking the antibiotics. Now, moving further. Now this topic, introduction of scientists. Yeah, what it is? Introduction of scientists. Now, from where this penicillin or antibiotics was researched or we have got? Now, a scientist, Alexander Fleming, a professor of microbiology at St. Mary's Hospital, had cultured varieties of bacteria and fungi in petri dishes in his laboratory. Okay. But on 3rd September 1928, on 3rd September 1928, while observing Staphylococci cultures, he made an interesting observation in one petri dish. What happened, students? As he was a professor of the microbiology, he always used to do many experiments in the laboratory. And as I have suggested that he has cultured many varieties of bacteria and fungi in the petri dish. But what happens? For a few days he forgot to recover it. And when he come back to the laboratory, what he have find? What he have find? And the date was 3rd September 1928. When he was observing these cultures, that is Staphylococci cultures, he made an interesting observation in one petri dish. What he has observed? That in that petri dish, fungal colonies had grown, but but the area around those colonies was clean and clear. Mostly the dishes or the fungus which are cultured, we always used to see, or the researchers or they has to see that bacteria is also present there. But in a one petri dish, what he has seen that the fungal colonies had grown. See, it is a fungal colony. Yeah, but the area around those colonies was clean and clear. Means what? There is, that is, bacteria had actually been destroyed. There was not a single bacteria surrounding it. So, after further studies, he confirmed. What he confirmed? He confirmed that the fungus growing there was, what was it? It was penicillium. And its secretion had destroyed the bacterial colonies. The fungus which was there was penicillium. Penicillium. And its secretion, what it secretes? Its secretion was penicillin, and it had destroyed the bacterial colonies. Thus, the first antibiotic, penicillin, had been discovered accidentally. It was not an invention, but it was discovered accidentally as he forgot to change their slides and petri dishes. And this formed the basis of attempts to find the cures for incurable diseases. And from there, this researches on viruses or on the antibiotics has started. So, shouldn't we always be grateful to Alexander Fleming for discovering the life-saving antibiotics? Yes, we are so grateful, we are so thankful to him. To whom? To the Alexander Fleming, who has discovered many life-saving antibiotics. Yeah. Now, some interesting things we should be knowing. We should know. Now, wow, wonderful to know. Now, some facts about the fungus. See this picture. Yeah. And as you can see in this image, they develop what? They develop the fungus garden within the anthill. As we are knowing, ant lives where? Where do the ant lives? Ant lives in the anthill. Yeah. So, what they do? They develop the fungus garden within the anthill. Yeah. And this anthills, when these ant cells are broken, you can observe internally the material which is collected by the ant is stored there. Yes, the material which were collected by the ant, it was stored there, and the fungus develop, and this fungus produce and this fungus produce what? Nutrient. That nutrient is consumed by the ant as a food. Yes, it is interesting or not? Yes, the fungus is how this fungus is helpful. Yeah, so that as they produce what? Nutrients, and this nutrients is consumed by a ant as a food. There are some species of wasps and other insects who lay their eggs in the fungal bodies growing on the trees, thus ensuring a food supply for their larvae. Okay, now you can see how these fungus are helpful. Yes or no? As in anthills we have seen. So the samadhi species of wasps and other insects who lay their eggs in the fungal bodies growing on the trees. Yeah, and thus ensuring why they why they lay their eggs on this fungal portion, so that it can ensure, it can be very means confident that they will get a food for their larva from this fungus. Yes. So this is how this wonderful. Now we are moving further. As we have discussed in our previous lectures, the microorganisms are differentiated or distinguished into or divided into two types of microorganisms, useful and harmful. So up till here we have studied about the useful microorganisms. Now moving further to the harmful microorganisms. Yeah. So the organisms which are helpful, we are calling them as a useful microorganisms. Yeah. But some microorganisms which are responsible for the destruction and which are capable of causing different diseases in humans as well as in animals, they are known as harmful microorganisms. Yeah, the organisms or microorganisms which are responsible for destruction, which are capable of causing different diseases in humans as well as in animals, they are known as harmful microorganisms. See friends, now you have to notice in this. See the first question, what it is. The questions which arise in our mind is, which changes do you notice in leather articles and gunny means jute bags during the rainy season? See in this picture, see this leather shoes, see this gunny bags, and what happens during the rainy season? What happens? Microscopic spores of fungi are present in the air. We are knowing, if there is sufficient moisture, spores, yeah, moisture, spores germinate on the cotton fabric, gunny bags, leather, wooden items, etc. Why? The fungal hyphae, fibers of fungus, what does they do? What does they do? We have seen the changes. What we see the spores of fungi on all this examples, leather articles or gunny bags. But for how long afterwards can you use those articles? Now what is the answer for this? The fungal hyphae, that is fibers of fungus, penetrates deep into the material to obtain nutrition and to reproduce. Yes. So for living, they need nutrition. So what they do? They penetrate deep into the material to obtain nutrition and to reproduce. So this causes the materials to wear and to become very, very weak. Why? Because all the nutrition is taken from the fungus. As a result, gunny bags, leather items like shoes, purses, belts, etc., on which this fungi have grown do not last long, even though wooden items are also getting spoiled due to this fungus. Now, this is about the rainy season. But why do these articles not get spoiled during the summer or winter? As we are knowing, during rainy season, there is much moisture in the air. But during summer and winter, what happens? This moisture is what? Absent. And due to this, fungal reproduction stops. And so we have seen during summer or winter, the articles do not get spoiled mostly. Okay. Now see this picture. Yeah, what it is? These are the bottles having pickles or murabbas and all. Okay. Now one question arises in our mind that sometimes you may notice a black powder or a white disc floating on the pickle or murabba. When it is formed, when a jar is opened after a long time, and usually our mothers always used to make this pickles and murabbas for a season. And but after some time, when it is kept for a long time, what happens, what exactly happens to this, and why are such food items not good to eat? Now we will study this. Just now I told that sometimes you may notice a black powder or a white disc floating on the pickle or murabbas when the jar is opened after a long time. What exactly in this? Why are such food items not good to eat? Now we will see the reason behind this. Various species of fungi grow on food items like pickles, murabba, jam, sauce, chutney, etc. Yes, it is found. They use the nutrients in these food items for growth and reproduction. For this reason, this fungus is reproducing that. They use the nutrients in these food items for growth and reproduction. And during this activity, fungi release what? Fungi release mycotoxins. They release mycotoxins and certain poisonous chemicals into the food. So when this mycotoxins is released in the food, these poisonous chemicals get mixed in the food and thus food become poisonous. Hence the food on which fungi have grown cannot be eaten. So students, keep in mind whenever you eat pickles, murabbas and all, open it. First of all, see whether it is good or not. If you have find black, there's black fungus or white portions on the pickles on murabbas, never think to eat this by removing this. As if you will remove also from the upper side, but the toxins, this mycotoxins which were produced or which were released from this fungi, it get mixed in the food and it is poisonous. So it is not good for our health. It is hazardous. So we should not prefer this type of food in our daily life. Okay. Now, the example of the harmful microorganism is what? Clostridium. What is its name? Clostridium. Yes. Sometimes cases of food poisoning occur during community feast. Community feast means was when there is a marriage function or where there are many people gathers for any type of functions. Here we see most of the food poisoning. And how does the food become poisonous all of a sudden? This question arises in our mind. The bacteria which spoil cooked food are Clostridium. Yeah, the bacteria which spoil cooked food are Clostridium, and out of about 100 different species of this bacterium, some are free living in the soil, whereas some live in alimentary canal of humans and other animals also. Yes, so where do this Clostridium present? It may be living in the soil or even though in our alimentary canal, means in our digestive system of our body of humans and other animals, it is present there. And these bacteria are rod shaped and produce bottle shaped endospores in adverse condition. These bacteria are mostly rod shaped and produced what? Bottle shaped endospores in adverse conditions. So one special characteristic of this bacteria is that they cannot withstand the normal oxygen level of the air. Because they grow in anaerobic conditions. Anaerobic conditions means in the absence of oxygen. Understood? So one special characteristic of this bacteria is that they cannot withstand the normal oxygen level of the air. Because of what? They grow in anaerobic conditions. So this is the reason behind of cases of food poisoning occurring during the community feast. And the examples of this are Clostridium tetani. Now, what is this? Have you heard the word tetanus injections? Yes, our mother suggests us or a doctor suggests us whenever we get not infected or cuts from the from what? From the iron material or a sharp things, our doctor suggests to take a tetanus injection. This is the reason. Okay. So because of this Clostridium tetani is produced in our body, and for that purpose, the tetanus injection is given to cure from the other what reactions in our body. Next is Clostridium perfringens, Clostridium botulinum, and Clostridium difficile. So these are the examples of the Clostridium. So this is the example of which organism, which microbes or microorganisms. It is an example of harmful microorganisms. Yes, students, understand up till here. For your better help, we will revise this with the help of the pictures. So, my dear students, observe the slides or the video. It will be revision of this, the portion which we have taken today. Okay. Compounds obtained from some bacteria and fungi for destroying or preventing the growth of harmful microorganisms called antibiotics. Yeah. Antibiotics are discovery of the 20th century have brought about a revolution in the field of medicines. Okay. This is like tuberculosis been almost completely eradicated from some countries. Yeah. Antibiotics mainly act against bacteria. Okay. Some antibiotics can destroy protozoa. Yeah. Antibiotics are useful against a wide variety of bacteria. See the pictures. And they are called as broad spectrum antibiotics. What are the examples? Ampicillin, amoxicillin, tetracycline. Okay, these are the examples. Which of diseases are visible, broad spectrum antibiotics are used. Okay, whenever pathogenic microorganism is definitely known and narrow spectrum antibiotics are used. Okay, examples are penicillin, gentamicin, erythromycin, etc. Okay. Now we have seen institutes at work. The National Institute of Virology established in 1952 in Pune. This is the picture. And this undertakes research related diseases like measles, jaundice, fever, and diseases of the lungs. Support from the World Health Organization. Okay. Now is a group of antibiotics obtained from a fungus, penicillium. Is used for controlling the infection caused by bacteria like Staphylococcus, Clostridia, and Staphylococci, etc. Okay, containing penicillin are useful to treat certain bacterial infections, ear, nose, throat, and skin. Well, as diseases like pneumonia and scarlet fever, this penicillin is given. What are the caution? Should be taken only when prescribed by a doctor. Second, purchase any antibiotics from medical stores, the prescription of a doctor. Then, consume antibiotics on your own to treat common diseases, throat infection, common cold, or influenza. Okay. Fourth, even if you feel well before completing of the prescribed course of the antibiotic, you must continue and complete it for feeling better. Suggest to others the antibiotics which were useful to you. Now, scientists. Alexander Fleming, a professor of microbiology at St. Mary's Hospital, measured varieties of bacteria and fungi in petri dishes in his laboratory. On 3rd September 1928, observing the Staphylococcus cultures, he made an interesting observation in one petri dish that what? Petri dish, fungal colonies had grown. The area around those colonies was clean and clear. Okay. Bacteria had actually been destroyed. Okay. After further studies, he confirmed that first growing there was penicillium and its secretion had destroyed the bacterial colonies. Okay. The first antibiotic penicillin had been discovered accidentally, and this formed the basis for attempts find cures for incurable diseases. Okay. Shouldn't we always? Yes, we should be grateful to Alexander Fleming for discovering the life-saving antibiotic. Just now we have seen fungi in their termitarium ant hill. Yeah, obtain food from it. Species of wasps and other insects lay their eggs in the fungal bodies on the trees, thus ensuring a food supply for their larvae. Okay, understood up till here? So, and after this, we have seen about the harmful microorganisms. Yeah, after this, we have seen about the harmful microorganisms. So, what are the harmful microorganisms? The microorganisms which are responsible for destruction and which are capable of causing different what? Causing different diseases in humans as well as in animals, and they are known as harmful microorganisms. So, dear friends, what is the example for this harmful microorganism? The example is Clostridium. Yes, we have seen this that sometimes the food poisoning is causes, and why it is happens? Due to the microorganism, harmful microorganism, that is Clostridium. So, my dear students, hereby we are ending our this topic part 3. Okay, means useful and harmful microorganisms part 3. And in the next lecture, what you will do, you will read the lesson thoroughly and be prepared for the further part. Yes, next period we will be dealing with the other harmful microorganisms. Okay, we will be dealing with the other harmful microorganisms. Yeah. And you will read the lesson thoroughly and you should keep the textbook open in front of you while attending any lectures. It will be helpful and beneficial to you. So my dear students, I am concluding my lecture here. Thank you for listening my lecture very silently.
Thank you, Jayashree Miss.
Okay, sir.
Yes,
Thank you.
yes,
Yeah.
students.